everybody, it's Emily.
And Sarah.
And today I'm doing a interesting little reading vlog. Someone suggested that it might be fun if I did reading vlogs where my children pick my TBR, and Sarah really got excited about that. So today, this week, Sarah is picking out the books that I read. So Sarah, what am I reading this week? I'm super nervous.
I put the books in this bag so that you wouldn't see what my pile was.
Okay.
So
I don't know what I'm getting here. Although I have some suspicions. I think I know at least one of the books. I'm pretty confident.
Do you want to make any predictions before I reveal
See, I can't remember the name of it. What is that one by Margaret Rogerson? Had a book that you talked a lot about. It was something to do with a library, and I have a feeling it's in the bag. I also have a suspicion Crier's War could be in there, because that's another book that you've really hyped for me. I don't know. There's a lot of books that I think over the years that you've really harped on me needing to read. But see, here's the thing. I don't always like fantasy. And I know that everything in that bag is fantasy.
That's why they're all fantasies, because
yeah.
I'm going to force you to read more.
So, I don't know, maybe you'll change my mind. Maybe you won't. That's what we're going to find out this week. Show me.
The first book that is going to be revealed is Crier's War.
Like I said, I knew this was going to be in there. I don't know. I think this is either a book I'm going to really like or just despise, and I don't know which one it's going to be.
I can't see how anyone could despise this book.
I get really picky about my fantasy. I don't know. I have very high expectations of what I think fantasy should be. And so often the books I pick up, especially YA fantasy, it just doesn't work for me. For whatever reason, I don't know. I'm just super picky. And I'm nervous that I'm not going to like it and that you're going to get mad at me.
Are you ready for the next book?
Okay, all right. Let me see it.
Well, you were close, but you weren't quite right with your prediction.
Okay.
Oh
no, it's still her though. It's still a Margaret Rogerson book. See, this is the one that I was the least interested in reading.
The way I feel about reading her books last year was that with her writing, both books are really good, but I feel like, especially since she only has 2 books out so far, she's the kind of writer that's good to read her books in publication order, even if they're not connected. So I feel like that's a good place to start with her writing. Plus, it's one of my favorite depictions of Fae. So,
see, I don't always like Fae.
So you've never read a good Fae, therefore you can't say that yet until you've read good Fae.
Fine. What else?
And speaking of good Fae,
what is? Oh no! See, I feel like this is going to be a rough week. I don't know if I'm going to like this at all, because I'm just. This is one of those books that I think is so overhyped, and
Don't you trust me?
I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see. So this is what I'll be reading this week. Thanks, Sarah. I mean, I don't know. I think I'll probably start with Crier's War, because I think this is the one that I have the most chance of liking, because I just don't feel great about either of these books. Honestly, this I knew I wanted to read at some point. These are books that I'd kind of put on my nope, not going to happen shelf.
Well, now they are.
All right, well, I guess we'll see what my thoughts are as the week progresses. So I will be checking in daily and letting you guys know my thoughts. And I mean, if you love these books, I'm sorry ahead of time, because I just know that I'm going to be nitpicky. But maybe I won't. Maybe I'll like them. I don't know. I guess that's what this video is going to be. Emily tries out YA fantasy. Good morning. It is Monday morning, and yesterday I read about 5 chapters from Crier's War. and I thought I'd just do a really quick, brief check-in. It's very early. It's like 9 o'clock. I only got up about half an hour ago. I read the first 5 chapters from Crier's War, and so far, it's fine. It reminds me a lot so far of Girls of Paper and Fire. It has like that same tone of just like the protagonist. You're going back and forth between the two main protagonists, one being Crier, who is the android robot person, I don't know, and the other is a human, and the human wants to murder all of the robots. So it just has that same kind of like angry angst that you felt when you were reading Girls of Paper and Fire. I don't know. So far it's fine. I'm not disliking it, but it's not like riveting yet, so I'm hoping it gets better and that I get into it, because I do feel like it has the potential to be a book that I enjoy. So this is our first day back to school after the break, so I need to get myself moving here so I can be at least somewhat productive. And I don't know, we'll see. I have a lot going on. This is probably the wrong week to do a reading vlog like this, but you know, I wanted to do it while Sarah was still home and she goes back at the end of the week, so we'll make it work. So I'll check back in later and I'll see what I have accomplished. So it is now like 4 o'clock and I have to start dinner, and I've only read like a quarter of a chapter more today in Crier's War because, you know, I was busy. We homeschooled from like 9:30 till around probably 1:30, I think, and no, till 1 o'clock, and then I had lunch, and then I worked. I have like level 5 stuff I'm working on right now, so like I just haven't had time. Tonight I'm gonna do some reading. So I'm about to start dinner. We're gonna have soup. I'm gonna walk with you into the kitchen. As I do that, I got myself a new selfie stick because Sarah stole my old one, and so now I can like actually, and so now I can actually like bring my phone throughout the house to chat with you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna start some dinner. This was our first day back to school after a 3-week break, and I will say I don't recommend doing that. I always do in December because it's the most useless time to homeschool when my kids are all excited and like Sarah comes home on break, Robbie's out of school on break, and it's just like, fine, we're not going to get anything done. Might as well take that time off. But then the day we start back is always a lot. My voice is raw because it was the first day back and I haven't been reading aloud regularly for those 3 weeks, so my voice isn't used to it anymore. So between reading with Regina for like 2 hours for school, and then the twins wanted me to read The Toll because we're almost at the end of the book, and like I just really want to finish it so we can get to the end. And so yeah, at this point my voice is tired, but what are you gonna do? So like I said, I only had time to read like half a chapter, but I figure after dinner I'll get another hour or 2 of reading in because I don't really have too much to do this evening. So that's my plan. Maybe I'll check back in tonight, but I don't know. We'll see how the evening goes. Also, Regina has been begging me all day to let her watch some booktube videos because the other day Sarah wanted to watch with me a video from Mel to the Annie, and I think it was her favorite books of the decade or something, and so I put it on the TV thinking that would be easier. And Regina plops down beside us to watch. At the end of the video, Regina turns to Sarah and says, "That just changed my life. I'm going to be a reader and I'm going to make book videos." So she like ran upstairs and made a TBR. But anyway, she's been begging me to let her watch more booktube stuff. And so I don't know what we're going to put on. Probably Reagan from Peru's Project. I feel like her videos are a little more kid friendly. Maybe. I don't know. If you have a booktuber you think that would appeal to my 10-year-old, let me know. But I think we're probably going to watch that. She's obsessed now. She wants to read all these young adult books. I'm like, hey, stop. You're not ready yet. You're only 10. Take a break. Let's get some other books in first. Anyway, so that's my day in a nutshell. Schoolwork, which went fairly well considering. Like, it took a little longer, but overall was fine. And, you know, Now I've got to make some dinner. I did get some work done on level 5. For those who are curious, I'm kind of like reading and then typing in like at the same time. So right now I've just finished week 23 of the lesson plans, and I'm going in order, so I'm not that far off from finishing that. I just have like 6 more books, I think, ish, I need to get through for the literature portion, and I'm kind of like reading everything else as I go. So, yeah, it's progressing. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't have like an estimated finish date. But I'd like to say February would be like when I have level 5 done. It's probably going to be more like March though, because as idealistic as I am, I have to be real and know my limits and know what I can actually get done. So anyway, I'm going to start some dinner. We're having chicken soup and biscuits, and so I'm going to get cooking, and then I'm going to read later, and I will check back with you hopefully this evening to let you know how my progress is going on Crier's War. So I'll see you then. Today's gone off the rails a bit. It's Tuesday and my ulcerative colitis is acting up, so I haven't really gotten a whole lot done. But we did do school, and I did read a couple chapters from Crier's War. I'm up to chapter 12, so I'll be starting chapter 13 soon. And so far, I'm actually liking it more than I expected. I mean, I wanted to read it because I know it's one of Sarah's favorite books from last year, and but I'm actually finding that I'm liking it a little more than I expected. I don't have a whole lot of deep thoughts about it yet, though. Sarah keeps asking, what's your favorite character? And I can't tell you that until I finish the book. So right now I'm here for the ride to see where it goes. But yeah, I haven't done hardly anything today. As soon as we finished school, I got sick, and it's been rough. I'm starting to feel like a human again now, so I did get some reading in, and that's like all I did today. So, it's one of those days, but I'm hoping the rest of the week will be a little bit more productive. So that is my plan for the rest of today. I gotta go make dinner in a few minutes. Regina has karate, so that gives me like an hour of quiet. So maybe I'll be more active tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully tomorrow's a better day, and I'll be on track. So I'm already concerned that I'm not going to finish all 3 books. Like I'm halfway through Crier's War, and I think I might finish it tomorrow, but in order to read all 3 books this week, I needed to finish this today, and I just don't see that happening. So perhaps I'll only read 2 of them. I asked Sarah if there was like any particular order, like which one, if I had to skip one, and she said it didn't matter. So we'll see once I finish Crier's War what I feel like picking up. So okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to start dinner, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow will be much, much more successful. Hey, how's it going? My vlog is spiraling out of control. I don't know if I can pull off what I'd wanted to pull off this week. This is just the wrong week, I think. But I'm going to keep plunging on anyway and just see. We'll see. I really have to do it in a week. I don't have time the rest of the month to devote to this. I have other things that like are calling for my attention. And then she says that I should read this book, The Cruel Prince, and not worry about the other one, which is great because that's the one I was the least interested in reading. When she's over here with her hands on her hips giving me a dirty look, but whatever. But anyhow, so currently, okay, first of all, I don't even think I told you what day it is because that's where my brain is right now. Today, I know, today is Wednesday, and currently, no, Zildjian, no, sweetie, nobody asked you. Shh, I know, this isn't about you. I'll talk to you next. So currently, if I could open this book without dropping it, I am on page 286. My goal yesterday was to get to page 300, and I failed. And so, I haven't picked it up yet today. I've been busy. Today was hard. So you know, I'm just, ugh. My entire morning was spent on the phone trying to get an appointment with a rheumatologist that I still do not have an appointment for because apparently they are the only ones in the entire state and they are overbooked or something. And so I had to leave a message and I'm waiting still. So that was a waste of a morning. I'm hoping maybe I can finish this book soon. I would have said today, but I'm gonna be realistic and say I don't think I can pull off 100 pages today. Perhaps I can. I don't know. It's not been a good week for that though. So perhaps I will have it finished tomorrow morning. I don't know. It could happen. And then I'll go on to The Cruel Prince and we'll see. I don't know. This one's this is a bigger book too. Why, Sarah, why couldn't you have given me novellas? Thus far, I'm still not, I haven't read today, so I don't really have anything new to say beyond it's fine. I'm enjoying it, I guess, and we'll see how I feel at the end. I do know this ends in a cliffhanger, which duh. I've assumed that from the beginning, just because that is the way of the YA fantasy. There are no standalones. So I had assumed I was gonna be, left with an open end. So, but do I know where that open end is? I suspect. I have some suspicions as to where I think it's going, but I guess I'll just wait and see if I'm right or not. But overall, I mean, I like the political intrigue. That part is fun. The rest of the story's fine. Like, there's no like standout character yet, which I know is disappointing Sarah. She's over here giving me dirty looks. I don't know. Maybe just that I'm having a bad week and I just can't think of anything like interesting to say about this besides like, well, I was nitpicking one scene and Sarah was like, it's fantasy, mother. But like, there's a scene in a tide pool where they literally plunge their entire bodies in. And I'm like, what? I have never in my life seen a tide pool bigger than like ankle deep, knee deep at the most. Entire body depth, not so much. That's not a tide pool. That is like a lake, a pond, perhaps. I don't know. But I thought that was weird. And Sarah says, it's fantasy, mother. So I guess that doesn't matter if it seems unrealistic. I don't mind magic and stuff. I get that in a fantasy. But like when a real world thing doesn't work the right way, I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. And I'm annoying Sarah. I think I'm going to nitpick it more just to annoy Sarah because she's watching me. But anyhow, all right. So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go and read, perhaps, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna update later. This has been a terrible vlog. I apologize to Sarah because I know that she was excited about this. It's just the way things work out, I guess, wanting to do it this week while she's still here and before she leaves for school. Of course, that's going to be the week that everything goes awry. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to go read because this is just getting to be just a ramble fest and I have nothing more to really say. So I will see you guys later. Good morning-ish? Noon? Good noon. Today is Thursday. And as of very late last night, I have finished reading Crier's War. I did it. So I'm feeling much better today. So I'm hoping to tackle The Cruel Prince later today. I talked to Sarah, well, I told you yesterday when we discussed like if I could only fit one more in, which one is priority. So Sarah really wanted me to read The Cruel Prince. So I guess that is where I will move on to now. Okay, so my thoughts upon finishing Crier's War. I give this like a 3.75, I guess. I didn't dislike it. I thought it was fine. There were moments that I thought were really good and really well done, and there was a lot that I just felt like I'd seen before. I found it semi-predictable, like I kind of knew where we were going the whole time. And nothing really shocked or surprised me in the plot. Kinnock reminded me of Hans from Frozen. And like I knew from the start that he was going to be the big villain. And like I felt like the story was fine. Um I will probably read the next book when the sequel comes out, just because I'm curious to see where it goes next, but it's not going to be like my most anticipated or anything like that. But I thought it was fine. I liked it. And it's pretty typical, I would say, of YA fantasy. So it was nothing like, I really like really dark fantasy, I'm finding. Like, I like when it gets really dark and maybe even a little bit disturbing, because, I'm twisted like that. I mean, aside from Lord of the Rings, which is like one of my very favorite series of all time, and The Hobbit, those are nice, like, happy fantasy. Even though there is some darkness in them, they still have that, like, comforting tone to it somehow. But I also find that I really like things like Joe Abercrombie's writing and George R. Martin's writing, and that sort of like really dark stuff. I really want to read the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, because I have a feeling it'll be in that wheelhouse, but in a different manner, like in a different way. But I really like that kind of stuff. So this just didn't quite hit those things for me, as far as like the dark, like gripping stuff. The political intrigue they tried, I think it was fine, but like it was nothing new. Like there were things in there that I was just like, that's predictable. Like, I know where this is going. I never had like a moment where I gasped, and I like that feeling in a book like that. So it was fine, but it wasn't great. Sarah really wants me to have thoughts about The Cruel Prince, so I don't know. We'll see. I hope I like it a little bit better, but I'm not getting my hopes up too high. So we'll see. But I'm interested to see what I think, because I do know like it's super hyped on YA BookTube. And I'm curious to see where I'm going to fall, if I'm going to find it as great as they do, or if I'm going to just not get it at all. I don't know. I don't think YA fantasy is for me. If you know of a really dark YA fantasy, like super dark, like grim dark almost, like I want that. And I don't think I'm going to find that in YA fantasy. So if you know of something like that, I will check it out. But anyway, I'm right now starving. So I'm going to get some food. I'm going to eat. I'm going to get some work done, because, I have to do the things before I can just binge a book. And then hopefully this evening I'll get a good dent going in The Cruel Prince, and I'll let you know my thoughts. So I'll see you later. I am surrounded by toys. Anyway, I just read the first chapter of The Cruel Prince. Like, I think it's actually the prologue, not the first chapter. But I'm surprisingly intrigued. This was much darker than I expected. And I hope the whole book is like that, because that's what I'm looking for in fantasy, I suppose. So, I wasn't sure going in what I was going to get. But if the whole book reads like that chapter does, then I might like this. I don't know. I'm going to continue though. But I just thought I'd pop in quick and say my first impressions after, like, the overhyped business of the fact that, like, this is the most overhyped book, I think, on BookTube right now. My first impressions are somewhat positive. So it is now Saturday. I completely forgot to vlog yesterday. It slipped my mind, and I was busy most of the day. So anyway, what was I doing yesterday? I was working on level 5 stuff. I was packing things for the Read Aloud Book Club packs to go out, so those are out in the mail. I'm excited for you guys to get them. But anyway, I am currently just over halfway through The Cruel Prince. I'm going to try to finish it today, because my goal was to have it done by Sunday. Sarah goes back to school tomorrow, and I wanted to film like the final like wrap up of my vlog experience with her since she chose my TBR. I wanted her to be involved in it at the end. So anyway, that is the plan. I think I can do it. I think the book is like 370 pages, and I am currently on page 213. So it's doable. It's just over 100 pages. I can manage that. So that's the goal. So far, surprisingly, I kind of am liking this book, which is so unexpected because I literally had zero desire to read this. This was on my never gonna pick up list. And interestingly, I'm liking it more than Crier's War, which is a book that I was interested in reading. So who knew? But I mean, will I continue the series? I don't know, because like there are some things in this that I'm just sort of like, it doesn't work for me. Like I was being nitpicky probably, but the whole idea that there's school in fairyland and that there's like high school with cliques and stuff, it just like pulls me out of the story every time. So things like that I just think are not, don't need to be there, but whatever. I get like kids relating to school and that sort of thing, but I don't know. It just, if I'm a fairy and immortal and all of that, why am I in high school? Like what even? But anyway. But anyhow, I'm still interested in finishing this. I'm enjoying it. But as of right now, this is a solid like 3.5, 4. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I think at the end. But right now, it's pretty good. And yeah, so I'm gonna read, and I think plans for the day, grocery shopping at some point. Hopefully this freaking Christmas tree comes down, because, you know, it's January, what, 10th, 11th? I don't even know what day it is, but it's time for there to be no more Christmas tree in my house. Like, I'm ready to see it gone. So, I am now, I don't know, 2/3, I guess? I would say 2/3. 2/3 of the way through. I just got to the end of part 1, and my initial thought was, this is like the Red Wedding, because it was very much one of those, like, it's been set up for the last several chapters. You kind of know something's brewing, and then all of a sudden everything happens at once. So, you know, kind of Red Wedding-ish, but like less dark, I guess, if that makes sense. Anyway, I don't know. It's like the YA version of the Red Wedding. For what it is, I'm enjoying it. Sarah is getting frustrated with me, I think, because every 5 minutes she's like, so who's your favorite character? And I do not have an answer. This is not a book, I don't think, where I'm gonna have a favorite character. I don't always. So this is more of like a plot heavy book, I think, because I'm just not like emotionally attached to anybody, and I don't know if I will be, but that disappoints Sarah, but that is just how it is. So I'm gonna try to finish this tonight. We'll see if I can, but that's my goal. So I'm gonna go and read now, and I'll check back in hopefully tomorrow with my wrap up. Hello! So it is now Sunday. So I finished 2 of the books that Sarah chose for me. I did not get to an Enchantment of Ravens.
Are you going to read it? Like, eventually? Like, to fully complete this TBR?
Perhaps. It's just not going to be this month because, like, I am tapped out. I have other things I have to get to now. So, I don't know. This just didn't happen, and that's fine. Like, this is the one that I was the least interested in reading, to be honest. And I don't know, maybe I'd like it, but I just don't know when I'll get to it. So this didn't happen. Why don't we just like chat about thoughts? So I read Crier's War. That was the book I started with, and it was fine. Like, here's my thing. I think at this point in my life, I'm just sort of not over YA, because I still read quite a bit of YA and I still enjoy quite a bit of it. But I think I'm over YA fantasy because so much of it is just a rehash of the same thing over and over. And Ayla in this book and Jude in this book are essentially the same character. And the two of them are essentially the same character in every YA fantasy. And I'm not saying this to be like, I think it's true. I think they're all Katniss. They're all the same, like, basic character of just badass girl protagonist. And they all are sassy. They all have attitude.
I'm still kind of amused a little bit that your only reaction to the tide pool scene was criticizing the tide pool itself.
A tide pool is not deep. A tide pool is literally like you wade in up to your ankles, knees at the most. Up to your freaking neck? That's not a tide pool, people.
And that was all you got
Like,
out of the entire scene.
Stuff like that will pull me out of the story every single time. I'm sorry. And then I read The Cruel Prince, and I will say I gave this like a 3.75, but the longer I linger on like my thoughts about the story, I'm gonna pull this back and say maybe 3.5, somewhere hovering between 3.5 and 3, because it's fine. Then I read The Cruel Prince, and I will say that I liked this more than I liked this, but it's still only like a 3.754, somewhere in that range. I will say that I was unexpectedly, like, I liked the world, and I didn't expect that because I don't typically like fae as a, I don't know, as a world, as a type of being. I don't like stories that have fae in them for the most part that I've read. But I kind of liked this. I will say the character, not that I liked the most, but that I visualized the best, was Maddox. And I kind of saw him as, I don't know if anyone saw the show Banshee, because I feel like that was really underrated, and Sarah has no idea what I'm talking about. But there was a TV show, I don't even know, is it on Stars perhaps, called Banshee, and there was a character in it that was this older gentleman who was Amish but had like left the Amish faith and become this gangster. Anyway, played by, what is his name? Ulrich something. Ulrich Thompson. So I visualized Maddox as Ulrich Thompson's character in Banshee, whose name was Proctor, because that is just the energy he exuded, is this like calm, he's almost, you like him, he seems like a lovable guy, except he's super evil. And that is like how I pictured him. I could not visualize anybody else. Like, I don't know if it's the lack of character description or what, but I just couldn't picture anybody. I think they're all described basically as, oh, they're beautiful. This one has dark hair. He's beautiful. This one has red hair. Also beautiful. Like, they're all described the same way, so I can't picture anybody. And it really bugged me. But I don't know. I liked the like political intrigue stuff, because I like that in a story. I liked that this was dark, and I appreciate that, because I want my fantasy to be dark. But yeah, it was a 4. I don't know that I'll continue. I might, but like, I don't.
You said.
Honestly, the further away I get from having read this, the less likely I am to pick up the next book. Because I feel like this and Criers War both are going to kind of blend together in my head, because I read them both in the same week and they had so many similarities with the characters, not the plot. Although I guess you could argue that the plot was also similar.
How?
I mean, the whole plot of Criers War, let me even think now, is the uprising between humans and androids, and the kingdom kind of collapsing. And this one doesn't have like that structure at its core, but it's still like the falling apart of a kingdom and the rebuilding of it. So kind of similar, but not exactly. And I don't know, they're going to blend together in my head. I just know it. So was this a success? I read them, so I'm going to say that was a success for Sarah. She finally got me to read the books that she's been bugging me about for a while. But I think I've disappointed her. Have I disappointed you?
No.
I'm sorry. I still love you. I mean, I don't know. There's a small chance I'll pick up, what is even the next one? The Wicked King? Yeah. There's a small chance I'll pick up The Wicked King, just out of curiosity, but I don't know when that will happen. Okay, but like, what was this, what about this that you loved the most? Like, what did you want me to get from this?
I really wanted you to experience proper Fae, since you said you don't like stories about Fae, but all the ones you've read are ones that I haven't read, so I can't even like.
Okay, I suppose that's true.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to introduce you to the Fae that I like, and this is one of my favorite Fae trilogies.
And I will say though, I did like the world building stuff. Like I enjoyed being in a fairy realm, which I didn't expect.
Yeah.
So, but they went to high school, which is lame. So, fairy high school is the dumbest idea I think I've ever read. I'm sorry. I just thought if you're immortal and you're powerful, why do you need to go to school? Like,
To be honest, I kind of forgot there was something in this book. Since it's not in
it had the
the
same.
other two books in the series, I kind of
Yeah.
forgot about that.
It kind of made me think of the whole, like, the trope of vampires going to high school, and I don't understand that either. If you're immortal and you're powerful, what are you doing in a high school setting? That's just, I mean, thanks. I picked up things that I never would have picked up otherwise, so that's always fun. So I read Crier's War and The Cruel Prince because Sarah made me, and you know, I semi-enjoyed some of them. So, thanks so much for watching. If you have any YA fantasy that you think I'd like, let me know down below in the comments, and maybe I'll try it out, but I promise nothing.
Maybe I'll leave a comment just like more books for you to read.
Hey, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy reading.
Bye.
Bye.